Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris.
We're
looking at whether there's a lot of death and destruction. There already is a heck of a lot of death and destruction. I want to ask you about here at home, the southern border.
Today, you have about 3,000 people crossing at the border on a daily basis. That's still a high number compared to what we saw 10 years ago.
Absolutely, the president should be talking about the border more. Why isn't he?
The American people want to talk about border security.
But for Americans who just want something done, you know, the ifs and buts really don't matter much. The president could take executive action and has been talking about it since back in February when the Homeland Security Secretary mentioned it was being considered. Should he just get caught trying? Pull the trigger, do something on executive action?
The president has such limited ability to issue executive orders that would have an impact on the border. He can't conjure resources out of thin air. If he were to try to shut down portions of the border, the courts would throw that out, I think, within a matter of weeks.
There was a lawsuit that was brought this week by the families of those in Uvalde, Texas, whose children died in Robb Elementary School. And you represent Sandy Hook. I know you follow this very closely. They are trying to bring suit against video game makers and Meta Platforms, which owns Instagram. What do you think of the premise of the idea that social media companies and video companies are to blame here?
Well, listen, there's no doubt that these social media companies are feeding violent content to our kids. I don't know the underlying dynamics of that legal case, but our social media companies have a lot to answer for because these would-be killers whose brains are breaking often find inspiration for the crime that they are contemplating online. Courts can't solve this problem of school shootings.
Well, looking at whether there's a lot of death and destruction. There already is a heck of a lot of death and destruction. Pull the trigger, do something.